Balancing is one of the trickiest and most underappreciated aspects of video game design. It's the art of ensuring that players are capable enough to take a fair crack at anything the game throws at them, but are not simply able to cheese their way through with the right combination of gear and abilities. As such, it's little surprise that practically any video game centered around character builds has an entire metagame element where obsessed players try to figure out the best combo for effectively breaking the game. And with that in mind, I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 9 character builds that broke open world games. Number 9, Stealth Stalker Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West's most outrageously game-breaking build was quickly given a nerf by Guerrilla Games, but even with said nerf, it's still pretty damn OP. Upon release, players soon discovered that they were able to one-shot most enemies with the help of the Stealth Stalker Valor Surge, which when fully leveled up would grant players 200% extra damage against unaware targets. And YouTuber JawRaptor paired this with an upgraded Forge False Sharp Shot bow, stealth and damage mods, the Braced Shot ability, and a leveled up Nora Thunder Warrior outfit to ensure that hitting any machine's weak spot caused potentially over 10,000 damage. And unfortunately, Guerrilla soon enough picked up on this and realized that the build rendered most of the game's encounters totally trivial. And so they patched the Stealth Stalker Valor Surge's damage against unaware targets down from 200% to 50%, preventing you from one-shotting many enemies, but still, all the same, it deals a staggering amount of damage regardless. Number 8, METEOR MAGE Kingdoms of AMALUR Reckoning. Kingdoms of AMALUR Reckoning has one famously OP sorcery-based ability, which allows players to wreck pretty much anything in the vicinity. And we are, of course, talking about METEOR. METEOR delivers pretty much exactly what it says in the tin. A devastating area of effect attack that rains down meteor fragments to obliterate anyone in its path. Stack some damage items and this thing is hilariously OP, capable of one-shotting the vast majority of enemies that you'll encounter throughout the game. Now, balance is already a major issue in the original version of Kingdoms of AMALUR, given that mages are widely considered to be egregiously overpowered, and it's incredibly easy to overlevel yourself simply by veering off the critical path. But once you start using METEOR, the game becomes an absolute joke, enough that some players straight up stopped casting it altogether out of sheer boredom. Number 7. Immortal Build Monster Hunter Rise SUNBREAK. With the release of any new Monster Hunter game comes a fleet of obsessive players committed to creating character builds which are more or less indestructible. That is to say, no monster can deal enough damage to take them down. And following the release of last year's Monster Hunter Rise expansion SUNBREAK, the fine folk at Rage Gaming Videos released their latest Immortal build, which allows players to deal monstrous amounts of relentless damage while never having to stop to heal. In the video, Rage Gaming Videos explains that they combine active skills like Defense Boost, Divine Blessing, Recovery Speed /up, Kashala Blessing, Blood Right, Furious, and Spirit Bird's Call together with a complementary armor and weapon set to ensure their health continually recovers faster than they can be harmed. This means that players can keep hacking away with Want and Abandon without needing to keep an eye on their health or worry about carting, aka being KO'd by a monster. And once you've got this build set up, prepare to cackle with glee as you effortlessly take on anything the game throws at you. Number 6, Shadowhunter Elden Ring. The nanosecond that Elden Ring was released, legions of players immediately sought out the most OP builds possible. And though many spent the first few weeks of the game's life marveling at the wildly OP Mimic Tier Spirit Ash, that was soon enough patched by From Software. That, of course, didn't stop players seeking out other game-busting builds, though. And just recently, YouTuber NazarGG posted what they purported to be the, quote, most broken Elden Ring build of all time. The channel's forbidden Shadowhunter build allows players to take on anything the game throws at them. It starts with the underrated Phantom Slash ability, where a phantom will emerge and follow up your attacks, combined with the Knight Rider Glaive weapon and Blood Flame / Black Flame Blade incantations. To demonstrate just how ludicrously OP the build is, the video even tested it against many of the game's bosses by playing as dumb as possible and constantly spamming the attack like, in their own words, a poorly programmed NPC. And the results certainly speak for themselves. Many of the bosses are trivialized to the point of putting up scarcely more of a fight than your average enemy, and it's such a comically strong build that it's definitely worth trying out if you're replaying the game. Number 5, the blessed whirlwind bow, Immortals FENYX Rising. Immortals FENYX Rising may not have set the world on fire when it released in late 2020, but it was a solid example of an open-world Ubisoft game that managed to avoid feeling like another soulless collectathon. The title grants players a multitude of god-bestowed abilities to aid their quest and take down the evil Typhon. But if you combine the Whirlwind Bow and Athena's Third Blessing, you really don't have to do much of anything else. Using this build, anytime you hit an enemy with a fully charged bow shot, the enemy and several others in the vicinity will also be struck by lightning, allowing you to basically just keep delivering arrow lightning combos which cause insane levels of damage. Better yet, if you unlock the Reflex Shot upgrade, which slows down time while falling through the air with your bow drawn, the build makes it hilariously easy to avoid taking damage altogether while keeping large crowds of enemies at bay. Number 4, Mercenary Lilith, Borderlands. Though there are varying opinions on which Borderlands build is the most game-breakingly OP, a strong contender is surely Lilith's Mercenary build. Lilith with the Mercenary mode is an absolute beast, especially if you equip her with dual-wielded Anarchy submachine guns and consider skills such as High Velocity, Quicksilver, and Slayer, ensuring that she can mete out a hilarious amount of damage per second. Pretty much whack these things on and watch the life absolutely melt off even the most potent bullet sponge enemies with this setup. A never-ending string of numbers flashing in front of your eyes until the boss in question falls down dead. Again, it should be said that Borderlands fans have their very passionate opinions about which loadout is truly the most ridiculously overpowered, but for players who want a quick path to mopping the floor with almost anything the game has to offer, Mercenary Lilith is the way. Number 3, Stealth Archer, Dying Light 2, Stay Human. Now in a previous video, we detailed how a Stealth Archer build is an easy way to break the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, but the same is also true in the open-world zombie game Dying Light 2, Stay Human. By pairing a leveled up bow with Ranger gear, which provides a boost to range damage, reduces the cost of stamina, and increases the time for enemies to recognize you, you're able to become an unstoppable, stealthy killing machine. This will allow you to seamlessly switch between the grappling hook, glider, and sliding around the map while pulling out the bow for quick kills before humans or infected alike have any idea what the hell you're up to. Obviously, we can't all be as smoothly skilled as YouTuber Falkman, who showed the build off in a video, but if you invest enough in it, you can trivialize combat to the point that most enemies can be effortlessly one-shotted, with even bosses who don't pose much challenge at all. Number 2, Ultimate Damage, Marvel's Spider-Man. If you want to play Marvel's Spider-Man on Ultimate Difficulty without tearing your hair out, you need to have one hell of an organized build. Thankfully, this setup from YouTuber RJordy basically allows you to deal out eye-watering levels of damage at an unprecedented rate. Now, this video's presets for Peter Parker's suit allows the player to easily dodge enemies and beat them down fast, all the while keeping their focus bar crucially topped up for the next engagement. On Ultimate Difficulty, builds like this turn challenging encounters into a sheer breeze. In their video, for instance, they took out the Silver Sable boss fight in a mere 20 seconds flat. Most regular enemies can meanwhile be incapacitated in 1 to 3 hits if you follow this loadout, which is perfect for players who want to string together brutal attacks against a large swath of foes. Number 1. Ranger Blast Arrows, Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. Hack and slash action RPG Dragon's Dogma gets snapped in two if you decide to pair the Ranger vocation with Blast Arrows, arrows which explode upon contact with the target. Combine these with the tenfold Flurry skill, which lets you fire an astounding 10 arrows at once, and you'll be able to make short work of pretty much anything in the game. Even bosses with many life bars will be helpless against your health-draining attacks, ensuring the Ranger Blast Arrow build lets even the least skilled player cheese their way through basically any encounter. Much like Kingdoms of Amalur's Meteor attack though, some veteran players deliberately opt to not use this setup due to its potential to make the game so damn easy that it's actually kind of boring. So, that's our list. Want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Have you used any of these OP builds? And are there any others I missed off here? Let me know, and while you're down there, if you could, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.